Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 11 of Buddy Pass Podcast. Again, presented to you by every week, the Masshole Perspective. Go follow them. They're doing a lot of big numbers over there on the Instagram, so just toss another follow and add to the basket. We're back here with the co-host, Brett. What's up, buddy? How you been?
I've been pretty good. Besides hockey, other than watching that, we got March Madness starting here soon for college basketball. I don't know if any of our listeners do any brackets or anything, but I filled out mine the other day.
Who you got winning it?
I got Baylor this year being Gonzaga.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty
Gonzaga is
nasty,
supposed to be
right?
the best team in the country going into the tournament, but I got Baylor taking them down.
Always root for the
So
underdog.
anybody listening, put Baylor. I got you. Don't
Lock it
sleep.
in. Well, very nice. And now I'm on to Aiden Crowley. How you doing, buddy? What you been up to?
Not much to build off the March Madness thing. So I was at work yesterday. I work at Planet Fitness. Or not yesterday, the other day. And this guy comes in, absolute character, this big, tall guy. And it was Sunday, and I was like, "How we doing, man?" I was like, "What's going on?" He was like, "I'm fantastic." And I was like, "Whoa, fantastic on a Sunday night. What's that all about?" And he was like, "My team made the tournament." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Who did you have?" He was like, "Rutgers."
Oh,
And I was like,
yeah.
so I don't know anything about March Madness. I'm not a
Oh, neither
basketball
do I.
guy.
I can't name a single college basketball player in this country,
Neither can I.
but Baylor's winning.
But he was like, I was like, I'm not a big basketball guy. I don't really follow it that much, but a team here and there, sure. And he was like, well, I'll tell you how to fill your bracket out. He was like, fill it out based on the tallest players, the mascots, and the cheerleaders, and you'll win the $1 million. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right.
Dude. So March Madness is the time for guys that don't know shit about basketball to just thrive
To be
and just think
heroes.
they know everything. And I'm one of them. I I think I am a basketball guru when March Madness comes around.
Well, I hope you guys do well in your brackets, and shout out to
Thank you,
that
thank
guy
you.
for being fired up. Congratulations to his little squad. For me, I haven't really. I went out with the boys on Friday night. That was a fun time. I think on Saturday though, no lie of a word. I think I played shell for like 12 hours straight, almost. Ranked 120 in the world though. I know this is
Oh, yep.
EA Sports NHL 21 taught that no one really gives a fuck about, but I'm hyped up. I'm buzzing. 14
That's
teams on
huge,
the
dude.
weekend.
Like
That's
that's
a
something to
weekend
flex,
tournament.
man. Have
It
a
is.
Flexing
moment.
it.
That's
I
like
won
you
a game.
people listening. I don't know if you're not a big shell player. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
120th in the world for
and
in
I
a,
want
in a hot
smoke with
tournament,
anybody.
a weekend hot tournament.
Thank you. And I don't really have, the big squad that everybody else is throwing money into packs. I'm blue collared in this regards. I get my
Oh,
hands dirty.
yep.
But enough of this stupid fucking talk about that. 'Cause nobody gives a shit. I just need to put that out there.
We still won a game though.
Still want a game with people. We could bring that up later in the episode and drop some links in our usernames and stuff like that to get a game with anybody interested later. But enough about I guess how we're doing. I kind of wanted to bring up I guess on a sadder note, the KHL player, 19 years old. Forgive me for probably pronouncing this wrong, but Timur fights Udinov. Um,
It's probably better than I could do.
Yeah.
Thank you, but I honestly I'm getting a little choked up right now saying this just because obviously we don't know him or anything, but like how sad is this with a 19-year-old kid in the KHL potentially could have even followed his dream even more of being a professional hockey player, dies due to a puck being hit to his head, and it's just besides all that and how freak of a play it was, my thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Timor, and I don't know, I'm getting choked up a little bit right now talking about this and just how brutal this is, boys. I don't know what do you guys have to say on this awful situation?
Yeah,
Ye-
it's such like an innocent play because we were talking about it before we hopped on here. Um, it's just someone was doing a hard dump of the puck into the zone and it just clipped him in the temple, right up under his visor. It's a play that you see 10, 15
All the
times a
time.
game.
Yeah.
like one that you do probably once a game. And you never really think about it. So for those of you, it's not a graphic video or anything. It's just puck gets him in the face and he goes down instantly, and it's just really sad.
He was the captain of the team too. Actually, I saw in one post, which just makes it, all that more emotional for a team to lose someone like that and his family and everything. But yeah, no, like you said, it was just a play, just a guy firing the puck in deep like you see all the time, and it just goes to show how lucky some of the you see players get hit in the face with slap shots, not like often, but it happens, and they'll be bleeding, they get a black eye, whatever. It just goes to show how lucky those guys are that it didn't clip them in the temple or something like that. So
it was also reported, because he was fighting for his life. It was reported too. It wasn't instant, obviously, and
it was like 3 days, I think.
yeah,
he was in the hospital.
Just going out fighting is just, he's a hockey player, but he's also a human. I think that just, it wraps up almost like a situation that nobody, like you guys said, can anticipate, and going out swinging and fighting for every bit. My prayers and thoughts go out to that family, and I'd hope to see a nice tribune soon to him, and the wonderful life he lived, and I hope it turns into a celebration. But anyways, now on to more of a other related note, happier thought. There's a lot going around the league, and I think we should also now start off this talk with the ESPN deal. It was dropped after we recorded last week, so we
did it. You did it again, buddy.
This is why he has to tell you.
I reminded you before this episode, and you told me I don't have to remind you anymore. But you said you're a veteran, you're not a rookie anymore, and I said, Raph, I am still going to remind you because it's going to happen.
I'm just fired up about this deal.
It only happened one time, dude.
It's never gonna happen again.
Sorry, I'm not a perfectionist like you.
Later.
Hey, it gets me places. So,
why don't you start, Raph? How do your team do?
No, fuck you. You start, since you're bitching about it. Go.
If you didn't fuck up every episode.
Every episode.
Yeah. So my team did pretty bad. I rolled.
So you wanted to start the pod off with a team that did shitty. You're a joke.
I wanted to start with you. Anyway, I picked the Bruins. Now, if you watch hockey, they're playing like shit lately. I predicted they'd beat the Islanders finally. They did not. Lost in a shootout though, so they got a point out of it. Then they went on to crush the Rangers in a 4-0 win. They played unbelievable. And then the 2 games after that, one more against the Rangers, and the first Penguins game Monday night might be the 2 worst Bruins game I've seen all year. Just nothing was clicking. Halak actually looked good in that second Rangers game, even though it was a 4-0 loss. He was making some saves to, at least keep them in. But last night, as in Monday, and against the Penguins, he looked a little off, and so did the rest of the team. So
it's not often Halak looks bad too.
Yeah.
Halak usually is very consistent and very composed, but Bruins are they're terrible. As a fan, this is the worst the Bruins have played in 2 years. It's just so bad.
If I remember correctly, they put up a pretty good fight against the Islanders. I mean, it was obviously a shootout loss, but dude, just that second Rangers game and Penguins game, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, it's just, like, even, your guys, obviously, the perfection line, even they weren't, doing their thing. Like, meanwhile, lines 2 through 4 haven't really done much all year, but it was a tough couple of games to watch. So bad pick for me this week was that like 1-2-0 1-2-1 they went. So maybe one of you should go next.
I'll go last. I'll go last. I don't care.
You should go last because you've missed the topic for the second time.
Yeah, I forgot how important it was.
It is extremely important.
Yeah.
So I picked Dallas, and I was so confident. I was so goddamn confident they were going to go 4-0 this week. They had 2 against Chicago, 2 against Columbus. I felt really good. I felt like me calling him out, calling out Jamie Benn would go really well. And it did not go well. They went 2-1-1. They lost in, I think it was overtime to the Blackhawks. And then in regulation the other night to Columbus. I might have switched those around. I can't remember, but Dallas is shitty. Like, yeah, they went 2-1-1, but those are 4 games that they easily could take a lot of points out of that. So I was bummed about them, but
Cool. Glad to see you guys wanted to start the episode off with starting hot. My team also did pretty shitty. I had the Kings 1-2, 2 losses to the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, I just love watching the team, so I mean, I don't really expect too much. Just love rooting for the boys, especially the old bag of bones they got leading the team, and Dustin Brown, Jeff Carter, Drew Doughty, all
Anze
those
Kopitar.
fellas. Anze Kopitar, Johnny
King
Quick.
Kopitar.
Yeah, maybe I'll bet on them again this week. Probably not though. But all right, boys. Glad we started the episode off like this and showing how shitty our picks were. Do you guys want to get into the
You're
ESPN
mad.
deal? I'm
you're
a little mad.
so,
Yeah.
You're so
Dude,
upset,
you
dude.
Yeah, I'm a
promised me it wouldn't have.
You also know I'm a petty person. Like I don't just let
No,
this
I know,
go.
but
I'll
like,
keep chirping about
this
it.
this mistake where you forgot to bring it up, that's on you, man. That's not on us.
Yeah, but what do you also think sounds worse? When I say something into an ESPN deal, then you guys start freaking out for the public to hear, or maybe just brush it off, then go to the hot seat teams right after the deal. I wonder what sounds worse.
I think you sound mad.
I am mad. I'm a petty person, and you guys know that about me.
Oh yeah.
Know
I
me
know
for
that's
long
why it's
enough.
fun.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. So do you guys want to get into the ESPN deal? Or should
I
Oh yeah, we do.
would
Yeah,
we should
love
start
to.
the episode all over?
yeah. I'll cut out everything before this.
Oh, sweet.
Yep.
So the ESPN deal, 7 years, multi-platform,
Yeah.
great for the NHL. I think it's only going to further the game. I think I also saw some stat where, so from that and NBCSN, they get $2 million right now from like just the NBCSN thing. In total, after once they re-signed with that and the Nesson deal, $600 million. Check my math. That's like 3 times as much more money.
Yeah, money wise, I don't know the specifics, but I know they're gonna get a lot out of it. In terms of, I was looking at numbers before. In terms of exposure, because they were talking about ESPN Plus, which is the streaming platform for ESPN, and Hulu too. There's going to be some games on Hulu and some series on Hulu. ESPN Plus has 12 million subscribers and Hulu has almost 40 million. So that alone is huge exposure. Obviously, getting on like Sports Center on ESPN every morning is going to be huge for the league. So I think it's so cool. It's been what, 14 years? 17 years, 14?
Something like that, yeah.
It's been so long since they've been on ESPN, and if they had been on this whole time, I think this would be a lot bigger league, but
It would be as big as the NBA now.
I think it would be. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited. Humble beginnings for the NHL, and it'll be fun.
Best one hockey
Yeah.
for everybody.
I know.
You know what I mean?
It'll
Let
definitely
everybody
bring a
get-
lot more fans that wouldn't have watched hockey otherwise. Are
Oh,
gonna start,
100%.
obviously see, basketball, football fans that are gonna see stuff on ESPN, from games the night before, whatever it is, and yeah, definitely gonna help them grow because that's been an issue in terms of fans.
What I hope is a domino effect coming from this deal and obviously getting more viewers, more revenue and stuff like that. Hope they can find a way to lower the cost of equipment to not only get people to like enjoy and watch the game, but play the game too, or maybe get their kids into the game of hockey. And I think that would also only further the sport. So I'm not sure the logistics of that because, it is a business and, part of the economy and all that jazz. But, I feel like this shouldn't be the only step we take to growing the game of hockey. I feel like there's more to do everywhere. Start in the US with all that, go overseas, bingo, bango, bongo.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say I didn't even think about the equipment part. because that like equipment is stupid expensive and it's only getting more expensive. Like when I was in high school, middle school, like the most expensive stick was anywhere between $200 and $250, and now the most expensive stick is like $300, $350,
Yeah, it's
which
crazy.
is unheard of. But no, I think that would be sick. If organizations like Bauer and CCM could, with this increased exposure on TV, if they could like lower their prices just a little bit.
Yeah. The deal, this thing I just pulled up right now, I didn't know this was part of the deal, but the All-Star Game and Skills Challenge are going to be on ESPN too as part of it.
Yep.
Huge.
So I think that'll be cool.
I'll never forget buying my my MX3 right when it came out for 300 beans.
Oh yeah, dude.
Sophomore year.
What was,
That thing gave me a boomer.
I forget, it was like junior, maybe senior. I'm pretty sure it was like junior year though. It was the 1X Lite, maybe. I don't know.
My favorite stick.
Yeah, it's the one I still have now. Like it was the last stick I got in high school, like junior, senior year, and it was like, yeah, when it first came out, it was like 300 bills or something.
Yeah.
Is that how you got
like?
Is that how you got the Dirty Dangles?
Yep.
Or Dirty Dangles pre 1X?
That's the stick I used to teach Austin Matthews how to shoot. Actually.
No way. You taught him the Crown Driz?
Yep.
No way, dude. I never did that. 300 bills well spent.
Yeah.
So do you get like residuals from him then? Like from his paycheck?
Well, he paid me for the training.
Oh, so it's like a one-time payment, not
it was like training sessions, like 1 hour at a time.
Cool.
I used that stick to score my only 2 varsity goals senior year.
Had a lot of pop in it.
3 assists though.
PPG baby, PPG.
I was third line grinder. I didn't need points.
Just elbows to the head, straight through.
Intangies.
Just fire up the pims.
I had an issue with that my first half of the season.
You had a reserve C in the penalty box, a little sit in action, got comfortable, a little recliner in there.
Yeah, at least
like the Tooth Fairy. Remember that movie
with Dwayne?
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yes,
Holy
dude.
shit,
I forgot about that movie.
Yeah. I just remember like he had like the own seat in the penalty box.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we put that man on skates?
What a classic.
I feel like it should be illegal to put him in a hockey game.
I think that'd be sick.
He'll just murder everybody.
Yeah.
Anyways, got a little off topic there. Ovechkin continues to do Ovechkin things, climbs up the ladder once again. I think he passes Phil Esposito for 6th all time.
If I think
believe.
now.
Was 717.
Oh, maybe it was 6.
Bingos.
Yeah.
What do you guys have to say about that?
Dude, I want him to stick around long enough to be the highest goal scorer in history, which is is it 900 something? What's it?
It's
I want to say it's like 894 or something.
It is 894. Yes.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, you got it right.
I knew it was like close.
You knew that. You knew that.
But yeah, so I mean, he's ways away, like 170-ish. So gonna need a few more seasons. But I saw just like scrolling through Instagram earlier. I mean, nothing's locked in at all yet, but apparently there were rumors that the Caps want to sign him for 4 more years. So whether that happens or not, if he's around for 4 more years, breaking the record is attainable.
Did you see the number?
As
like
in money?
Like money.
So this post I saw, I don't know who it was by, but it said 11 a year. I was like,
no.
Holy shit.
I don't know about that. I mean, if you want to resign him for 4 more years, yeah, but not 11 a year, dude.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I mean, he's probably still gonna score at least 30 for you a year.
He will never retire with a season below 20 goals, and that is a given fact. I feel like at this point.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if he's worth 11 mil a year at this point, But yeah, if he's around for 4 more years, I think it's possible that he can break that record. He's like that. Fucking so fun to watch, like the way he can score, dude.
Do you think he's like, because obviously like hockey is not that big in the United States, but like in Russia it's basically like number one. Do you think he's legitimately like an absolute tier 1A celebrity there? Like the amount of
Oh.
clout he has must be crazy.
He's got to be, I feel like.
Dude. He's probably like LeBron James status here over in Russia.
Yeah.
He easily.
Ooh, yeah, that was a good.
Yeah, I'm like
Good analogy.
Analogy guy.
Analogy guy. Yeah.
is back. Actually, he never left. That's my
Put
fault.
that on a shirt. Analogy guy.
Analogy guy merch coming out. I don't know when, but it'll be out at some
Eventually.
point. Yeah.
If we're done talking about Ovi, another Russian who hit a milestone last night against the Bruins, 1,100 career points for Evgeny Malkin.
Dude.
And he's hot right now. 13 points in his last 8, I think.
Wait,
maybe
really?
12.
He's got 13.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 12. It's either 12 or 13.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck? This happens to me every year in fantasy. So last year in fantasy, and I think the year before, I had Jake DeBrusk on my team. And whenever I had him on my team, he was terrible. He sucked. I would let him go. I'd pick someone else up. He'd get hot. So I grab him again, and then he goes cold. And then I let him go, and he gets hot. So like 2 weeks ago, I dropped Malkin because he had like 3 points in his first 12 games. It's like, this dude sucks. And you're telling me now he's got 13 points in his last 8 games?
You know who picked him up when you dropped him?
Shut the fuck up.
No.
I did. And I
No.
beat you last week. And
I
beat you last
hate
week.
you. I hate you. I hate
This is
you.
the most like you to Aiden thing just like ever.
I am 8-1 in fantasy hockey. I think the next best team is like 5-4.
Dude, I've
4
lost
and 5,
4 in a
dude.
row, and I don't know how. I started 4-0.
'cause
5. I've lost
Malkin.
5 in a row.
No,
Every year in
am-
fantasy. Sorry.
I'm
got
not.
upset.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I might have dropped Malkin shortly after I picked him up, like right before this streak.
I'm gonna go pick him up literally right
But
now.
I still wanted to. I don't know. I think someone
Don't
else
you
picked
dare.
him up.
Don't
dude.
you
He's
dare.
just
I
like
will pick him
flying
up.
around.
Oh yeah, he's not there. Never
He
mind.
could-
Fuck.
yeah. Wait, is he on my roster? Let me check. I thought I dropped him.
I swear to God.
Maybe
It's all
I
right.
do
I'm winning
still
this
have
week
him.
for what it's worth.
Oh, Ralph, I'm playing you this week. Oh yeah, I still
Yeah.
have Malkin. Never mind.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm
I always
literally
said
gonna
And
kill you.
Ovi.
I only said that too, just so you'd stop looking at it. So I was gonna go pick him up. Wow, off the boat, but back to Malkin. Yeah, dude. I think he just picks and chooses when he wants to get hot. And for 1,100 fucking points in the National Hockey League, but can speak 0 English. And I heard like my favorite story about him too. I think like somebody posted that in Tribune for like the 1,100 points, and it's back when Crosby was battling his like concussions and was out for like periods of time, and he was already the captain at that point. They had a team meeting, with like staff and management there, discussing the possibility of like a temporary captain. And some people were like in favor, some people were like no, like we shouldn't do that, honor the seat of Sid. And then I guess Malkin in the middle of the whole thing just stood up and goes, "This is fucking stupid, Sid captain." Doesn't say like Sid is captain, this like says Sid captain, and walked out of the building. That's a rock star, dude.
Dude,
He's such a rock star.
He had a play last night in the first game of the series against the Bruins. He I forget. Oh, it was Zaboral. He just completely walked Zaboral. Like he had him kind of on his edges. He was just like coming down and just like sort of just lowered his shoulder, poked it through Zaboral's legs, went around, and he was on his backhand side, and Halak dropped, and he almost nipped the far upper corner on the backhand, but it went over the crossbar by like 4 inches. It would have been like he just clean right through Zaboral's legs, untouched. Like it was so nasty.
For all you
like,
D
this
men out
man.
there,
This
the
man.
moment you turn those hips and you commit those feet one way, you're getting burnt. And coming from a man that did
You're
that
getting
almost every
burnt by
shift,
Evgeny.
I would know. You're gonna get burnt. Don't commit. Push him outside. We have more Russian news. Panarin's back.
That's right.
He's also on my fantasy team. I was not going to drop him. But yeah, no, Panarin back is great. And he had an article that I was just scrolling through. I'm going to pull it back up here in a second. But he pretty much was like, he's very open with the whole situation. And once the season is over, nothing to hide is his quote. Forward says he plans to address everything that led to leave of absence, within the next couple of weeks or the end of the season, whatever. Which again, I think we talked about it, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, a shitty situation. Russia sucks, but it's good to have him back.
Yeah. I believe a man that says like I got nothing to hide, rather than like a man that's like I didn't do anything, or like that's so wrong. Like the moment you say I got nothing to hide, you're good in my book, dude. You didn't do it.
It's probably not the time to discuss right now. I have nothing to hide. I will address everything after the season, but right now the focus is on the game and not these discussions. Is a quote from Panarin.
I believe him 100%.
Mm-hmm.
What a weird fucking thing to make up, though. Fuck Putin. Oh, shit. We're going to have Russian spies on us now.
You're going to die.
Do you guys have any other news? I mean, we got to celebrate Keith Yandle's 100th game at home. Finally, they got to celebrate that.
His 1,000th, not his 100th.
I didn't even realize that mistake.
Wait,
I was just like, yeah.
Did I say 100th?
Yeah. You said 100, yeah. I honestly didn't realize 100th, it, though.
100th times 10. That's 1,000. Math guy's back.
Yeah. You just forgot to multiply.
Yeah.
That's facts. I forgot. You never messed up anything. That's my bad.
No, that's my bad, dude.
So yeah, big congratulations to Keith Yandle, another guy. He's got his almost 900 Ironman streak. Like the dude is just unbelievable. You know what? It's crazy to think that at the beginning of the season he almost didn't play.
Yeah.
He was on the practice squad. Like he almost didn't play. He almost didn't have a spot.
Would that have counted against him, even like if he's like technically like not in the lineup due to like not being put in it rather than being injured?
Yeah.
That would end the Ironman streak. Yeah.
That would end it.
I was making sure.
But wait, what was I gonna say? I think it was about Keith Yandle. I just had a huge brain fart.
Hey, you know what, man? It's totally fine because it happens to people. It happens.
Yeah, no, I know.
See, I'm not gonna.
I totally get that.
Yeah, man.
It happens to some more than others, though.
Yeah, man. I forgot. You're perfect. Stay true to who you are, Brett. Never change.
Oh, it was the video that the Panthers posted on their Twitter. They might have put it on their Instagram too. It was like 7 minutes long, though. It's just like everyone thanking Yandle, dude. For some reason, I want to say it was Ray Bork, the one of him like saying thank you and stuff. He's like recording himself saying it, Ray Borg, and like he totally just went out in his backyard and purposely put this beautiful pool in the background of the video.
100%.
I was like, this dude is flexing so hard, and now he's like in Florida, dude. I was like, this guy. I just thought
it's Ray Bork. He deserves to.
Oh yeah, he absolutely can flex all he wants.
I feel like his all the points in his career are even more of a flex than his house because of how ridiculous that is for a D man.
Yeah.
We saw Doner too, Shane Doan in that. I thought that was really nice. They got some other guys like Ed Jovanovski.
So many people. Dude.
Obviously, like Ryan Whitney, like one of his closest friends. But it was a really nice, touching video. I watched the whole thing. I don't know the last.
I did too. Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
So it's so cool, dude. It's so nice.
Oh, did you guys another video? The Senators backup goalie Joey Dacord. He's from Mass, played at like ASU. Did you see his post game interview after his first NHL win?
Yep.
He was just like, I mean, there wasn't like anything really funny about it. He was just like emotional. Like it was just a good interview. Good interview.
And did you guys hear the story about like how he started?
No.
Like it was supposed to be Murray's game. But in warmups, Murray like hurt himself, and Decord's was like he was talking to Murray before the game, and he was like, "Yeah." Murray was like, "I don't know if I'm going to be able to go, like, but I'll let you know." And Decord was like, "Okay." And so they got on the ice for warmups, and Murray was taking shots, and Decord said Murray looked at him and just shook his head, and Decord was like, "All right, here we go." And he said the first thought that popped into his head when he saw Murray shake his head was, I'm gonna win this game.
That's unreal.
Yeah, he said we're winning this game tonight.
Like we're winning this game tonight.
I was like,
did they win? I have no idea.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
They beat the Leafs.
That's what the whole interview is about. Is his first career win.
Gotcha.
They smacked the Leafs.
He started, or I think he's played 2 other games this year before that one and lost both. Maybe just one. He He's played at least one other. But
Fucking right.
Another young goalie though who looks sick. Like he
There you go,
looked really
Joey.
like playing against the Maple Leafs too.
yeah,
Like he looked really good.
A couple snipers.
Yeah.
Boys, I mean, if we have nothing else to talk about, should we get over to the awards?
yup.
So everybody, we're gonna do our mid-season predictions and thoughts
Yeah.
and opinions on all the major individual awards. Do you guys want to start off with the Hart Trophy? I mean, I feel like that's kind of like the main, almost number one individual award. Brett, want to start with you, buddy?
So I do have a few honorable mentions for this one, just because I think this is a tough pick this year.
It's so difficult.
So hard.
I had a couple that came to mind right away, and then I was like, oh my god, like more people just kept coming to mind. I was like, fuck. But I put McDavid as my pick, and I don't mean to like suck him off, but like
Well,
the dude has like 53 points in 29 games or 30. Like he's just he's not doing everything for the team. I mean, him and Draisaitl are doing most of the work, but you know, is a team that started off struggling in the beginning, and then Mike Smith came back and they kind of started to figure it out. The GOAT, Mike Smith. But yeah, just it's hard to ignore that amount of points in a game like that and not think about obviously how valuable that guy is to a team, no matter what team he's on. But I did. He was a really close second, kind of a sleeper, because I haven't seen him in any talks about it. And I think he should at least, you know, be in the conversation. Anze Kopitar.
Okay.
He has
I like that
34 points in like 27 games, dude. This man like fell off the last couple years, and he is tearing it up for LA this year. I mean, you know, Dustin Brown's got like 13 Genos too, and you know, those guys, you know, I just thought were you know, kind of done on the downhill, but they're back. They're here this year, and Kopitar has been extremely impressive in my opinion. So he's one of the honorable mentions I had, but I'll let you guys go. Maybe you guys will have picked some of the others I thought of.
Hey, do you want to go?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, McDavid is probably going to be a clean sweep across the board for us, I'm assuming, because I have him or Matthews. You know, those two teams are not the same without those players. Like Edmonton does not have 18 wins without McDavid and his 53 points. Like McDavid could easily end with like a 2 point per game average this year, which is unbelievable. Yeah. So, you know, and the same with Toronto. Like Toronto, yeah, they've got a star-studded roster, but he's got 21 goals in 27 games. That team is not the same. They are not the first place team in that division without Matthews. Honorable mention, I did have Kopitar as well.
Ooh.
And I had Patty Kane as an honorable mention too. In my head, I think he's a close second or close third, at least top five. He's got 42 points in 30 games. That Chicago team is not the same without him. So I wanted to throw him in there just because I think his game and Chicago's game has really picked up recently. And enough to the point where they are in the fourth playoff spot in the Central. So
yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up with 3 for 3 for McDavid. You know, I picked him because at the end of the day, I think it's going to be him. But, you know, if I had a player that I would like to see get it for putting the boys on his back is your pick, your honorable mention is Patty Kane. I just think with all the weapons that team does not have to, you know, make them fighting every night, it's really him and Kevin Lankinen doing all the work over there. I would love to see some Kevin Lankinen love too in some category, at least be a finalist in something. But Patty Kane, man, he's still trucking it. But I think everybody knows at the end of the day, it's gonna be McDavid. And, you know, the one flaw with that I want to say is, you know, you have a Draisaitl, you have the Sidney Crosby Malkin action over there in Edmonton with McDavid and Draisaitl. So I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't quite sell me on it due to that fact of having that lethal combo. But maybe we should still separate the greatness of those two players and carry on. Should we do a snake draft for this?
I have one more honorable mention that wasn't said by you guys.
Honor 'em.
I put down Kane's name too, but I also put down Mark Stone. I feel like he's someone that just should be in the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll win it, but he's just been so good for that Vegas team this year, who's obviously having a great year, which was expected. That they'd have a good year, but I'm not exactly sure what his point totals are, but he's just underrated playmaker in the league. Fun to watch. So.
He's
Just wanted to
riding.
throw his name in there.
He's
What was that?
riding either an 8 or 9 game point streak right now too. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, he's consistent, dude. So
Yeah, no, I definitely give some love to Stoner over there. I don't know if he'd be a finalist for me, but he could be like a top 10 guy, and that probably get a couple votes. All right, so I think we should go on now to the Richard Trophy for most Genos in a season, and I feel like everybody's gonna be on this wagon of Austin Matthews, the American sniper, Chris Kyle action. I don't know if I could have said. I don't know if I should have said that, but I mean the kid's changing the game of how you shoot a puck with the curl and drag, and how he's just so lethal and so quick twitch with all his shots. It's absolutely amazing. So I think he's a no-brainer for me, and I don't even have an honorable mention for this one. You could put up some other people in there, but I think he's just gonna run away with it unless somehow maybe David Pastrnak turns it the fuck up. But he missed too many games. I think he's too far behind for Pastrnak to catch up to Matthews.
yeah.
So if we're doing snake draft, I think I'm up next. But my I have Pasta as my Rocket Richard winner. He's got 12 goals in his maybe 20 games that he's played. He's only 9 behind Matthews, so Matthews has slowed down significantly. But I just like Pastrnak is too good a goal scorer to not catch Matthews. And he, I think once the Bruins figure out whatever the buck is going on there right now, whatever issue they're having in that room where they just are not winning games or not scoring goals, I think he's only going to light it up because he won it last year with 38 goals, tied with Ovi. And I think he could do it again this year. It's just a matter of time before he starts to heat up again. And that might be a hot take. I'm not trying to be a homer, but he's only 9 behind Matthews.
9's a lot though, dude. I feel like 9 goals is not like a short amount of goals for an NHLer. Like, I'm not saying that he can't do it, but it's not going to be easy at all.
But he's also
Oh.
He's played what,
Yeah,
10 games
that's what I was gonna
less
say.
than
Yeah.
Matthews?
So
I think
if
9 because Matthews missed 1 game too.
if Pasta had not missed those games in the beginning, he might have a goal or two on Matthews right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm with Raph here. I think missing those 9, 10 games, whatever it was in the beginning, he might get close. Maybe he's going to finish within a few and close that gap of 9. But I just don't think he's going to catch Matthews, dude. Matthews showing zero signs of slowing down. He's scoring 5-on-5. The thing with Pasta is the 5-on-5 goals aren't there as much as the power play ones, of course. That's the case for the whole Bruins team right now. But yeah, I don't think anyone's catching Matthews at this point. That head start he had on Pasta is gonna be what decides it.
That's the only reason for me too. If he didn't miss those stretches of games, they're at most a goal, maybe 2 away from each other, give or take a couple standard deviations. Math guys here to talk.
Standard deviation.
I would have loved to see a battle between them though. If they had if they both started up the season and to see them battle it out for that trophy, that would have been really fun to watch.
Oh yeah,
especially between players on those two teams, which are already a rivalry. I mean,
Um,
that'll probably be the case for years to come. I'm sure that's going to be the battle for,
absolutely.
Obi might
1,000%.
still be up there in the talks, with the goals. We don't know about that, but yeah, for years to come, it's going to be between Matthews and Pasta pretty often, I'm sure. So that'll be exciting.
Well, I think we should move over now to the Calder Trophy, awarded to the best rookie of the season. Brett, snake it up.
Oh, that's right. We're doing snake. So
Don't tread
I
on
like.
me.
I'm gonna go with Capo Kakinen on this one. The Wild goalie.
Ooh.
Now,
Absolutely love that pick.
again, I think this and the Hart one were the hardest ones for me to decide. But before, if you go back and listen to episode 2, when we did our season predictions, I said there are 2 teams in the West that I'm counting out this year. I said there's no way they make playoffs. They're going to come in 7th and 8th in that division, and it was the Wild and the Ducks. I doubted the Wild so much going into this year, and I'm just blown away with Capo Kakinen. He's 11-4, 219 save percentage. Goals against. 219 save percentage. We were really bad. And 922 save percentage. So I don't know, just for a team that I didn't expect much from at all. Obviously, there's another rookie on that team that we might get into later. We'll see. But he's just unbelievable. The 11-4 record stands out the most to me. Coming in as a goalie, I'm not sure his exact age, but he's young.
He's like 23, 24.
Yeah, so I figured somewhere around there. That's just unbelievable. In a division where you're playing against the Knights, the Avalanche, the Blues,
Mark Stones and Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah, like unbelievable players, and you're playing like that as a rookie goaltender.
Bananas.
Unbelievable. So
hey, your Ducks pick is looking good though.
Yes, the Ducks pick is
Ducks
looking
pick's
great.
looking good.
I had the Ducks in 4th place of the playoffs by the end of the year. So tough look for AIDS, but no, if snaking it, I don't know if we wanted to talk about the Calder stuff now, because I know we all have. I know Raph especially, you have pretty strong feelings about the Calder Trophy, and
I do. I really do.
We can say our picks first and then talk about the whole.
All right.
issue there.
So I think obvious, it's probably gonna be Kaprizov, but that's where the discrepancy comes in, because he's played what, 5 years pro
Like
in the
5
K.
seasons.
Dude, he has like 200 games played in the KHL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's ridiculous. I really like Vanacek or Lankinen.
Very
I
nice.
forgot about Vanacek.
So, and another fun fact: when the NHL through the season does like the trophy trackers, and it's all based on points and votes and stuff.
Yeah.
This is the first time ever that in the top 5 there have been 3 goalies.
Wow.
It's Lankinen, Kakinen, and Vanacek.
Say that 3 times fast.
So in order, it's Kaprizov, Stutzel, Lankinen, Kakinen, Vanacek. It's the first time ever 3 goalies. So I think if you take Kaprizov out of it, I honestly think that Lankinen or Vanacek would be my winners, simply because, obviously the Blackhawks, again, I had minimal expectations for this team, but Patty Kane, my honorable mention for the Hart, has lifted them up, and Lankinen's been an absolute superstar. Same with Vanacek and the Caps. He's 12-5-3. He's got a 2.74 goals against, 908 save percentage. So not like crazy numbers, but enough to keep them winning, especially and when they thought that Samsonov was going to be their guy, Vanacek has just slipped in and been this quiet success. So I'm going to take Lankinen. Vanacek very close second. I don't like the fact that Kaprizov is up there. I don't think he should be. Raph, I'll let you talk about that. But
yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off that. I'll just go into like what my prediction on what I think will happen is Kaprizov. That's what I think will happen. What should be justified in the order of court should be Kevin Lankinen, and give him the justice he deserves by giving him that Calder Trophy. Him and Patty Kane are the only reason that team can do absolutely anything. Watching him, I watch a lot of Chicago games more than I have in a couple years now combined.
Yeah.
That kid is so technical and mechanical, and he looks like a pro. He looks like a seasoned vet when he's playing Tendy. He's so calm. He has that like kind of calm, that Tuukka Rask-esque like calm, cool, I'm gonna save this
Confidence.
puck. The confidence, baby. I
Yeah.
love this kid. He's great. And like I like your pick, Brett, too, of Kokkonen over in the Wild, and
I was deciding between those two
yeah.
goalies. It was tough.
And
I went
Vanacek, dude, great pace. The
Yeah.
tendies this year are taking it away, and Kaprizov,
Shesterkin too. Even he's not in top
Shesterkin.
5, but like
He was
solid.
close in that race.
Yeah.
He was
dipped
like this.
off a
He
little
was
bit.
this. I think he was the
he's like
7th pick.
7th. Yeah.
I think
he was
That's
7th.
insane, dude.
Which again,
so many good goalies.
Top 10.
on the
There's
come up.
4 goalies.
Yeah, it's bananas. And I don't want to take away completely from Kaprizov because he does have 24 points and I believe about 26 games played. So, the player is going to be great. He's going to be great, but now here's where we're going to get into this little conversation that needs to be had about the age restriction for the NHL's Rookie of the Year award. How can you play 200 professional paid KHL games, score over 100 goals, come over overseas after being drafted about 5-6 years ago, come over and win Rookie of the Year? That is absolute banana lands. Like, I don't really think this guy, maybe besides a bonus, gives a fuck about a Calder Trophy. But same thing with Panarin.
Yeah.
Look at the player. I'm so happy Panarin got paid. He's an amazing player, but he should not have won that award. He's too fucking old. He has professional games under his belt. The juniors is not a professional league. It's juniors. There's a reason why you don't get paid technically for playing in them. That's why guys like Kevin Lincoln and guys that have legitimately put teams on their back should be able to win this award and get that. You know what? Fuck it. I hope they don't win it so that they come back next year with a chip on their shoulder, play amazing till their ELC is done, and get fucking paid and get a big ticket when it's over. Because I feel like they care a lot more about the money than winning a stupid Calder Trophy that has stupid rules behind it.
Yeah. I think I think 90% of hockey fans have an issue with the fact that these older guys are nominated for this award. And I think the way to go about it in terms of like instituting a rule is the number of games you play in another league after being drafted, not necessarily the age. If you were out like a whole year with an injury or something, it should have to do with the number of games you play. 200 in the KHL is obviously way too much. There should be some number of games, or if you play that many in another league and then come to the NHL, you're not allowed to be nominated for the Calder. And then if for goalies, you'd probably have to do a different number, whatever that number of games is going to be, just because goalies,
play less,
are late bloomers. They're not, coming in as rookies until they're 23, 24 normally. But something has to be done about that because I hate seeing these 24-year-old rookies.
Yeah. I think
it's unfair. It's just unfair.
It is
unfair. So unfair.
Something that I would want is like in terms of like an age restriction or a games played restriction for skaters would be anyone under the age of either 22 or 23 is eligible for the Calder, and anyone with the maximum of like 50 games played in another pro league is I think is a fair cutoff.
Like a season's worth of
like just under a season.
Yeah.
For goalies, it's tough because Brett, like you said, they are late bloomers, and
you have to do a whole separate set of rules for them. I feel
you
like
would. You would. And I don't think that I'm smart enough or have the brain power to really think about that because I'm not a goalie. I'm a skater. I focus on skaters more because that's, I can relate to them. But I do think I think it's necessary for the league to kind of look at that and be like, well, because these 25-year-old, 24-year-old guys they're guys. They're not kids.
Yeah.
Stutzel is
a child.
He's 18 years old.
We are older than him.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to get into that talk.
2 or 3 years, Raph. I'm sorry. 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So I think for skaters, anyone under the age of 22, maybe 23 with under 50 games played in a pro league.
Agreed. Alrighty. Well, that got really heated for a justified reason because we want justice here.
Yeah.
In the Calder Trophy court. On a lighter note, let's get over to the Selke Trophy, and if we're still snaking it, I'll start it off. So for my pick, who I think honestly deserves this trophy, and I'm so happy he's not considered like an underrated player anymore because people have said that for so long, is Sasha Barkov, the
I knew you
center.
were gonna pick him.
I love him, dude. I've always
Yeah,
loved the
you love
game.
him.
There's something about a player that can play 200 feet of perfect hockey. Really just tickles my peach, man. And an honorable mention that I do have that I think needs to see some love is that Joel Eriksson Ek for the
Yes.
Wild.
Yes.
He's looked amazing. You know, such a game to him that's so disciplined and just amazing. But I think, you know, he plays that 100-foot well on the D side. I think if he had the point totals that Barkov has, and Barkov has 17. Oh my God, I'm reading my notes wrong. 12 goals, 22 assists for 34 points. You know, 34 points of well above a point per game for Barkov while playing amazing defensively. I think just kind of gives him the no-brainer. But if Joel Eriksson Ek is a finalist, I'd be very happy to see that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I had Barkov as my number one guy too. I still think that he is an underrated player and an underappreciated player. I still don't think that he's got the star status that he deserves.
Which is crazy.
He's got 34 points.
So I feel like people went from seeing like, oh, he's not just good, he's great. But bro, he's actually past great. He's amazing.
And he's 25 years old too.
Oh.
He hasn't even hit his prime yet.
He's still on his parents' health insurance.
Literally.
That's bananas.
He's also a beast. He's 6'3", 215. He's a monster. But no, he's my pick as well. And I think an honorable mention, as it usually is Anze Kopitar. You can throw Patrice Bergeron into the mix. Kopitar, I think, is always a great pick. He's got like 27. He's got 27 points, or I'm sorry, he's got 32 points in 27 games. Brett, I think you actually brought him up before.
Sorelli, you could throw Tampa Bay Sorelli in there.
You could throw Sorelli in there. Even with the Bruins' troubles, I think Bergeron could be considered for the Selke every single year.
Yeah.
I considered. I don't think he'll be a finalist this year, not because of him, but just because of how good other players have been.
Yeah.
It's not a knock on him. It's just, you slow down a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I am taking Barkov as well.
So I did have Sasha as my number one also.
Team Sasha, baby.
I obviously put down a few other names that because I figured one of you was probably going to pick him too. Definitely Raph. But the guys that are just going to contend for it every year because that's just the type of players they are. You said Kopitar, you said Bergeron. They're just known as those complete 200-foot players. Like there's no doubt that they could get that award any year. But I also said Crosby for this year too. I think that Penguins team overall is just doing a lot better than I thought they would. I thought they were maybe going to kind of have a down year, maybe just miss the playoffs, but they're killing it right now. They're in a playoff spot. They're third in the division, I believe. But I mean, other than that, just Crosby, obviously, like it feels weird to even say that, like, I think he's going to win that because, like, obviously he's just known as one of those 200-foot players, complete players.
Does he have one?
I don't think he does.
See, I don't think he does.
It was always Bergeron, Kopitar,
Kopitar's got two.
when he was in the league.
Yeah.
Bergeron has 4.
I don't think Crosby's ever got one.
Which is so weird because you think about how good Crosby is and how many other awards he's won, but he's never in that running. He's never in the Selke running.
Which is weird because, when I think of maybe minus Sasha just because he's kind of new on the map, but when I think of the most complete forwards in this league, Bergeron, Crosby, Kopitar. Like those are the big ones, really.
I feel like his knock,
sorry, go ahead.
His knock may be only rookie ever to get over 100 points in 100 penalty minutes in a season. I don't know if maybe that follows him around still of mouthing off to refs and maybe being on a higher PIM scale than a player of his stature. I'm not really sure if that could be a knock on it, but like you said, I don't really know why for a complete player that's it's noted that he's complete. I don't really understand it either.
I'd like to see him win it this year just to get that one because he hasn't yet.
Brett, I think we should go over now to the Norris Trophy awarded to the best defenseman in the National Hockey League. Brett, snake it up.
My pick, excuse me, I mentioned him in an earlier episode. I forget how he came up, why he came up, and you were like, Raph, you said to me, you were like, is he your Norris pick right now? And I was like, right now, probably. This was like a month ago. And I'm still going to rock with him. I'm going to go with Victor Hedman. He's just a menace out there to me. Like he has, I believe this season he has 26 points in 27, which, for a defenseman or anyone really is great. And he's just, I haven't watched too many Lightning games this year, but the ones I have watched, he just looks like such a complete defenseman. I mean, he's a beast, like 6'6", like 230 pounds.
He's a unicorn.
Yeah, I just feel like when I think of a defenseman that you're least likely to beat in a one-on-one or any sort of play like that, Hedman's probably the first one that comes to mind. And he, he's like 30 years old, so he's got the experience under his belt for sure. Obviously the cup last year. So yeah, he's my pick right now. He's just too good in my opinion.
Any HMs?
I do have a couple down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but I don't know if you guys are gonna pick them, so I might want to wait.
We can do HMs after.
Yeah.
So snaking it up.
Snake it.
Sticking with the Panthers. Aaron Ekblad.
Yes, dude. Yes, man.
He finally, I think he's got some respect on his name this year, because the Panthers are playing unbelievable. They lead that division, which is insane, and I'd love to see it. But Ekblad has just been a force, and I think he's, like I said, he's finally getting the recognition. First overall pick in 2014.
Yes.
He's got 20 points in 28 games. Also a beast, 6'4", 215. Not a small man, 25 years old, pretty much the same size as Barkov, like we just talked about. But I love him. I love his game. He's a gamer out there. And again, I've said it a bunch with the other picks that we had, but Panthers are not the same team. They're not the first in that division without Aaron Ekblad.
Agreed. I love his game, and I mean I've watched a lot of their games too, and he does everything so well, but there's been he has to lead the league in absolutely robbed goals. I've seen him literally once every 3 games he'll have an open net and the 10 will make the craziest desperation save ever. It's funny, but yeah, you're totally right, man. That he's just a solid ass rock out there. They were riding that baby for miles because he's such a boulder out there.
Yeah.
Solid pick. Shout out Aaron. And lastly, to wrap up the Norris Trophy talk, we're going to keep it snaking. And don't call me a homer for this. I have justified reasons. Charlie McAvoy, Chucky.
He's
one of my honorable mentions, dude.
Same here.
Dude. Because I think he's been a little bit underrated because I feel like people don't really he's not a game where you can just check NHL.com and say, oh, Charlie McAvoy had a point today, because he's not like that. You have to watch this guy on a basis to see just how amazing he is on both sides of the puck. He's really found his offensive game this year. He already has 17 points on a team that's been struggling offensively, especially at 5-on-5. His rookie year, he led the league in hits that separated man from puck, which is what you want to happen. This kid, I'll just never get over how underrated he is, because he plays this game so solid, so fluid. I was a D-man myself, not that I have any credibility to even call myself one, but like you said, Aiden, that's what I focus on, hence being one. Charlie McAvoy does everything right. He's really picked up his transition game this year, which I always thought was going to keep him back from really turning into a 1A defenseman. He's snapping this puck around. What he's doing too, if he doesn't have anything, he's going to lug the puck up himself and make a play. He is so confident with this puck. Yeah, he's probably not going to go coast to coast, dirty dangs, upper cheese, maybe bottom corn, but he's going to drive play everywhere. And he's making everybody around him better. And as a defenseman, I'm a firm believer that your defenseman should be the cornerstone player of your franchise.
Yeah.
I think in order to have a dynasty in a franchise, you need to have that one defenseman to be absolutely great. You saw Chicago with Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook. Rest in peace. He didn't die, but he retired in peace. Letang was amazing for Chicago during those runs. All these Victor Hedman, Alex Pietrangelo. I could keep going because my point is valid right now. And Chucky McAvoy is going to be that player for the Boston Bruins for a long, long time. And as a right-handed D-man, which there's not a lot of, he's a special, special player. And he's
You
my
said that
pick.
beautifully.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
You said that very well. And
I'm South
he
Shore,
was-
Boston, Mass. I won't give my zip code.
he was my first honorable mention.
Same.
Obviously, we're all big McAvoy fans here. But he was my first honorable mention, but I ended up deciding to go with Hedman. I didn't think either of you would actually pick McAvoy though. I figured you'd all have him as an honorable mention, but I wasn't sure. I think he,
He will be. He will be a Norris Trophy winner in his career.
and I want him to be this year so bad, but I
it's
just
points.
don't think
It's always
he's going to,
points.
dude.
It's the most. I say this every year. It's the most flawed sport. Flawed trophy in the sport.
Yeah.
Because it's only who puts up more points. This kid puts up points and he clamps on D body bag season.
I guarantee you, even if him and Hedman finish the season with the same amount of points, they'd give it to Hedman because he's 30 years old and not
he has the
23.
stature. Yeah, they never give it to the younger guy.
Yeah.
Flawed.
That and the last point that I would bring up about McAvoy and Ekblad, the two things that I love about both of their games that Raph you kind of talked about was just how fucking smooth they are. Every little thing they do it right. The way they move the puck, the way how their vision is. If you watch both of these players, their heads up the whole time. McAvoy is looking down ice the whole time.
He doesn't know what color the puck is.
No, he doesn't. It could be one of the little blue or orange ones, and he'd have no idea. So just how smooth they are as players is unbelievable for defensemen.
Very well. I think that's going to be my favorite trophy to see who really wins it. Just because it could go so many different ways. I think lastly, actually no, because we have 2 more trophies left. The Vesna Trophy. That is awarded to the best goalie in the NHL every single year. And if we're going to keep sneaking it, I'll go first. I have Marc-Andre Fleury, which I think may not be one of the hottest picks around, given, he's a little bit older and past his prime, but I think he's looked great, and I think credit should be given where it's due. He has a .936 save percentage, a .177 goals against average, and he's 15-5 record-wise bars. Maybe in a not as tough division, I would say, and maybe, those stats may not look as kindly, but regardless, their stats and numbers don't lie. He's looked amazing, and he's really found like another gear at the end of his career to really turn it up. And I think Marc-Andre is my pick this year, especially with some bigger name goaltenders like Tuukka, Carey Price, and maybe not Vasilevsky, but still not being at the top of their game. That's my pick. The Flower.
So Flowers, an honorable mention for me. See, this one was really hard because there are a lot of sick goalies this year, but I'm going to go with Varlamov, and I've pumped his tires a little bit in 1 or 2 other pods, and his numbers outstanding. 2.03 goals against, .929 save percentage. Like, Islanders are a fucking wagon.
So my pick for the Vesna was also Fleury. You already read his stats, Raph, but the other thing I wanted to throw in there about him is that, you could say it's, maybe the weakest division, whatever, but he went into this season thinking he was going to have to split games evenly with Robin Lehner.
Mm-hmm.
And then Robin Lehner goes out with some sort of injury, I believe. And, he's left to take the majority of these games with that he, I'm sure he was, prepared for, you expect the unexpected, whatever, but it's at the same time, he's still expected to split games with Robin Lehner and not have to play this many. I'm sure at this point in the season, if Lehner was healthy, he wouldn't have played 20 games already. So, being able to step up when that happens. And I mean, that probably comes with the experience because he's been around for so long that, he's always ready to step up in a situation like that. But he's done more than step up with those kind of stats that he has right now. So Fleury's my pick too.
Let's go. Dot me up. All right, Brett, let's keep the snake going. Now we have the Jack Adams Award awarded to the best coach of the National Hockey League per year. Start us off, buddy.
So I went with the 3-time Stanley Cup winning ex-Chicago legend, Joel Quenneville of the Florida Panthers. That one was like, honestly, almost a no-brainer to me. I mean, he's just under that fucking team. Are they first in the league right now? I think they
Correct,
might be,
yes.
the Panthers. So whether or not they finish first, I mean, they're probably going to win that division, I'd say, at this point, if they keep doing what they're doing. And I just think a lot of that's due to Joel Quenneville as a coach. I mean, he's proved himself year after year about what he can do. I mean, I'm not sure the exact year he joined Florida, but they've made the playoffs a couple of the years he's been with them, and they haven't really went far. But I think this season it's definitely him after what
I think it's
they've
his
done
third
so far.
season. I believe
Is it
it's
his
his
third?
third. I believe it's
Yeah.
his third season.
I thought last year
I
was
thought
his
it-
first year.
Oh, he's been there.
Yeah, I thought it was like 3 or maybe even 4.
Yeah.
No, I thought I could be wrong,
I
but
can get a fact check aids while you do your Jackie ads.
yeah. Well,
Alright.
I mean, my Jackie ads is also Joel
Yeah.
Quenneville.
Joy
Like, I have absolutely stroked off the Panthers the last 3 awards here, but rightfully
We got
so.
him, dude.
Best team in the league, coming out of fucking nowhere. And
Yeah.
Quenneville, you said it best, Brett. He's a 3-time Stanley Cup winning coach. He knows how to do it,
He knows what he's doing, man.
and
He's doing it.
he is doing it, and he's doing it right. So there's really no other guy that you could pick. I mean, all right. I won't say my HMs yet because Raph needs to go.
I don't even have HMs for this one, dude.
I have
Oh
2.
my God.
I have
You
2. and
rocking with Joey Q?
I think one of my HMs is Raph's.
Most likely. For the
but-
Jack Adams Award, I have Dean Evison of the Minnesota Wild. Like, no hate to Joey Q. Like, I mean, it takes a lot for a team to be first place, but I think just with like, I mean, you can see that the team is so different than it was last year over in Minnesota. Like, it's it's not as boring of a hockey, and they really seem to be like tighter up with their systems, which I think is completely on Dean's side. Shout out Dean. And I feel like he doesn't really have like the roster that Florida or some of these other teams do in order to make this team a competitive team. And I mean, if they've taken a complete 180 in that franchise, and I feel like Dean's a big part of it. But yeah, for my HMs, I do have Joey Q in there. And that's about it. I do feel like this has not been a big year for a lot of notorious Jack Adams winners. Maybe throw Trotsy in there, Barry Trotz. He's always
Yeah.
a guy.
So before you go, Brett,
Yep.
before you go, I did fact check myself and I was right. Last year was Joel Quenneville's first year as Panthers head coach.
Whoa. Damn, I
So-
could have sworn it was like 3 or 4. Wow.
Because his first year was was Bob's first year.
Oh, damn. All right.
Bob Broski?
Yeah.
Nah, it's not.
All right. Well, you're right. But I do want to throw in there for the Jack Adams, not necessarily an honorable mention, but just someone that I think it would be really cool to see him win it, just because he's, I believe, the youngest coach ever hired is Jeremy Colleton, I think is how you say it, the Blackhawks coach.
Yep.
They had a tough go last year with him. And I honestly wasn't sure if he'd still be around this year, but they stuck with him. And, you can plenty of the credit goes to, Lankinen and Kane and all them. But, I'm sure a lot of it falls on him. Again, I don't think he'll win it. He might not be in the race very high. Could be wrong, but I just think that'd be really cool if someone like that won. It was like, I think he's like 33, maybe 34 years old.
Yeah.
That's
Which you
crazy.
just, like,
That's the
never see.
youngest.
So, and I mean, at the rate that team's going, they're going to crack the playoffs. So
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive. But yeah,
Was he a player? Is he an ex-player?
I honestly don't really know what his
don't
come up
know.
was.
Beer league pro, beer league professional vet.
My other HM, other than Evison, but you already talked about him, was Brindamore of the Canes. I mean, they're sitting, I think it's second in the NHL, right behind Joey Q and the Panthers. But again, not a super flashy team, but Brindamore, former Stanley Cup champion as a player with the Canes, like he knows what he's doing.
I respect that. I respect Roddy Brins. Alrighty, boys. I think that wraps up the awards. Everybody, we'll make a post about this, just plugging in all our picks. Tell us who's an idiot. Tell us who's not. Or who you think actually is going to be buzzing this year for awards and take home some hardware. All right, boys. Let's wrap it up with a little hot seat action.
Sure.
Brett, would you like to start us off? I've been kind of
I knew
plugging at
you were
you
going to
today.
ask me to start.
I don't know. I just like
I
whenever I
love when you
say
ask me
something.
to start.
I know. I see your eyes light up, and I was like, this kid's ready to jump.
Also, before you start, too,
yep.
we all three of us, we went 0-3 last week. So we need to figure it out this week.
Players first, right? You want to rip through those real quick?
Players
new
first,
teams.
yeah.
You can just be a quick one.
Ripper.
My hot seat player this week. I want to say lines 2 through 4 on this team, but I'm going to go specifically with David Krejci.
Yeah.
You scored your first goal of the year in the Rangers game, the first one that they won, obviously. And then obviously the next 2 games were rough for the whole team. But you got the Penguins again tonight, as in Tuesday night, and then they have 2, I believe, against the Sabres. So just lay into the Sabres, get that confidence up, just get some points on the board, specifically Krejci. I mean, you can go down those whole third and fourth forward lines too, but I'm gonna roll with Krejci here. I want to see some more out of Krejci after that first goal of the year. That came far too late.
Alrighty. Well, I hope he gets it done. What about you, Aids? Who's your player?
Plain and simple, Patrick Laine. 2 points in his last 9 games after like 7 points in his first 6 or vice versa with the Jackets. And like in both those points came in one game. He went 7 games without a point, had a goal and an assist, and has now gone 2 games without a point. So he needs to be better, and that whole fucking team needs to be better too.
Very nice. Yeah, there's so much drama too with him and Tor. It's like, I mean, I love it, but
I do
Jesus
too.
Christ,
I
Jesus
do too.
Christ, it's entertaining, but my God, dude, let's calm down here, boys. And lastly, I actually have a former teammate of Patrick Laine's on my hot seat right now, and that is Neil Pionk. He's been amazing, 23 points in 28 games, but I'd like to see him step it up a little bit. He had a pretty rough last game against Montreal, but I don't know, man. I love this kid's game, and you know what? I'm just rooting for him to succeed. I'm not saying he's playing bad. I'm just saying, you know what? We'll ass tap and say, hey, go out there, Neil. Go out there. So that's my my hot seat player. And for the team, we're gonna snaking her. I Boston Bruins. I mean, is that even a fucking question? This team is legit garbanzo beans, and just figure it out, boys. I don't care who the fuck you play next. You better win and score at least 6 5-on-5 goals. And that's all I have to say about the Boston Bruins. Yeah. Pathetic.
They play Pittsburgh tonight.
Good.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby, you had your little moment with your 1,000 games, but that moment's gone, and you're gonna get ran over by the big bad Bruins.
They are 4th to last in the league in 5-on-5 goals.
Well, that's a 6 stat.
DeBrusque with 4 tonight.
Oh.
I don't think he has 4 in like the last 18 months.
I'll put $10 on it right now.
I actually think that's true.
4. DeBrusque scores 4 goals, 5-on-5
tonight. Not all 5-on-5, but he scores 4 tonight.
I'll put $10. What's the odds at? Plus $1 million?
1,000.
Probably.
Yeah, I'll hammer that. What about you? What about you though? Who's your team?
So feeding off of my Laine pick, I gotta go Blue Jackets. They're excuse me. I think they're right outside of a playoff spot. They like wait, where are they? They are right outside of a
Yeah.
playoff spot.
They're in fifth.
They're 4 points behind Chicago for that last spot. Same amount of games played though, which is kind of scary. Just under 500. They started decent, and I think if Line steps it up this week, some of their other young guys like Atkinson and Domi and Roslovic, if these guys can step up a little bit, Korpisalo has been playing unbelievable in net. Was watching their game the other night. He made an unreal save against Jamie Benn. Jamie Benn pretty much had a wide open net, and Korpisalo was so far out of position, but he got back, and I tore my groin watching the save. But they've got Carolina 3 games this week. That's all. Carolina's got 12 points on them and 3 less games. So I hoping to go 2-1 with them.
Very nice. Hope they get it done.
I am going with, I believe I've gone with them one other time this year, but Calgary Flames. They are 3-0 under Daryl Sutter so far.
Daryl.
All right. And they are hungry to move into a playoff position. They are 5th in that division. They've been 5th for a while now, I believe. So they're itching to get back in there. They have 4 games this week before the next time we record. They have the Oilers again, 2 Leafs games, and then the Senators. But they've had pretty good luck against the Leafs this year. I know they shut them out once, and then I believe they might have won another one out of the number of times they've played them. So I'm hoping they can go 3-1 this week. Maybe they drop one of those Leafs games because there's 2 of them. But yeah, 3-0 under Daryl Sutter so far. I think they're going to keep that going.
Very nice. Shout out Daryl.
Daryl
Sutter. Alrighty, boys. I think that about wraps up the episodes. Hopefully everybody's teams do well and we get some more exciting news and events from the NHL this week. Thank you everybody for listening once again. Be active on the Instagram, the Twitter. Tell us what you want per usual. We want a game in clubs, Xbox One. So yeah, let's get on it, boys, and let's have a fun weekend. Hopefully it warms up a little bit, and let's wear some masks and enjoy your St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Safely.
This will be out on St. Patrick's Day.
It will be.
So you have something to pregame too. Fucking perfect. Thank you everybody, and have a blessed weekend and wear a mask.